Mr. Gu's White Moonlight has returned to China. The president's mother handed the check to me. The real owner has returned home, and it's time for you, the fake one, to step down. 10 million, leave my son alone. I stared at the check and frowned. What? Not enough? 20 million, leave my son alone. I gasped. 30 million. If you don't agree, I will. Okay. I'm leaving. I interrupted the president's mother. Our main strategy is to quit while we are ahead. In fact, I would be satisfied with 10 million, but who would have thought that the president's mother would raise the price herself? If you do as you say, I can pack up and leave today. But I have 2 requests. The president's mother frowned fiercely, showing an expression that said, I expected that I would be so greedy. First, I don't want checks, I only accept wire transfers. Second, we need to sign a gift contract for this transfer and have it notarized. As soon as I finished speaking, I saw the president's mother heaved a sigh of relief and immediately made a phone call. 2 minutes later, Gu's butler appeared with the contract. I read the contents of the gift contract carefully according to what the lawyer taught me last night. After confirming that there is no problem, nod and sign. Because of today's matter, the president's mother asked me out yesterday, and I specially booked a coffee shop next to the notary office. Therefore, the notarization was completed very quickly. When everything was done, the phone rang with a pleasant text message alert tone. It shows that 30 million has been credited to the bank card. This is Gu's speed. I waved goodbye to the CEO's mom in a friendly manner, even though she ignored me. After watching her leave, I rushed to the tax bureau. Paying taxes according to law is the obligation of every citizen. After paying taxes, I looked at the balance in my bank card. This tax deduction hurts me. But I feel that the red scarf on the chest is more colorful. I walked out of the tax hall with my head held high, and the staff of the tax bureau waved and saw me off. As if to say, welcome back next time. The moment I stepped out of the tax hall with my left foot, my cell phone rang at the right moment. Dear Miss Lee, hello. Oh, the airline's airport shuttle has arrived. I, Lee Ran, always keep my word. I promised the CEO's mom that I would leave today, and I will never delay until tomorrow. From booking a first-class ticket to going through airport security and boarding the plane, everything went smoothly. This resulted in the plane having entered stable flight mode when I took out my phone to check WeChat. Gu Huai's message suddenly popped up. Ask Auntie to clean up a room for Bai Yu to stay over at night. This was 2 hours ago. There are 2 more posts below, 1 hour and 1/2 an hour ago. Lee Ran, what are you doing wrong again? I was just busy collecting your mother's money and running away, so I didn't pay attention to my phone. But I was shocked. Gu Huai wants to take Bai Yu back to live with him. Wouldn't that mean they'll find out I'm not at home? And the current situation of bare bones at home? After all, I haven't been idle since I learned that Gu Huai, Bai Yue Guang and Lu Baiyue had returned to China last week. Gu Huai went to the airport to pick up Lu Baiyue, and I was contacting Ersh to collect the collection at home. Gu Huai took Lu Baiyue to various events, and I was appraising and selling jewelry. When Gu Huai announced that Lu Baiyue was working at Gu Group, I had already cleared all my assets in City A. Including Gu Huai's mother came to me and offered me money to leave her son. Before this, I consulted a good lawyer on how to obtain this income legally and safely. After all, I know that Lu Baiyue left Gu Huai because of the money spent by Gu Huai's mother. But Gu Huai's mother never expected that after Lu Baiyue, Gu Huai found a substitute whom she despised even more. So with my support, now that Lu Baiyue has returned to China, Gu Huai's mother can accept her. It just makes me suffer. Gu Huai's heart is not with me, and his mother is using money to oppress me. I could only leave sadly with my assets worth only 1 billion yuan. I originally wanted to leave quietly so that Gu Huai and Lu Baiyue could finally get married. But now, why does Gu Huai still think of me? Gu Huai has so many properties. I really don't know what's wrong with him. He insists on arranging Lu Baiyue to live where I live. But soon, the reason for Gu Huai's madness was found. It's Lu Baiyue. When my flight landed, I was bored and scrolling through Weibo while waiting. Weibo recommended me a post. Yueluo Huayan, I still feel so familiar after coming back, and the painting I gave him is still there. The picture shows the living room that I have lived in for more than 2 years and is very familiar with. This account followed me last week, corresponding to the time when Lu Baiyue returned to China. From then on, every day, Gu Huai and Lu Baiyue would share everything they did together, no matter how big or small. I recalled that after my wave of door-to-door recycling, the living room had become very clean and simple. Apart from the sofa and the coffee table, there was only the painting on the wall. Oh, I also asked the recycling master at that time. The master said that the painting was worthless and did not want it. It turns out that the painting that has been hanging in the living room for many years was actually given by Gu Huai by Yue Guang. I feel like the hat on my head is green. Not happy. Want to drink, want to order male models. When Gu Huai's message came again, I was already standing at the door of Shaohun, the best den for rich women in G City. Okay. Li Ran, you want to run away from home, right? It seems that I have spoiled you too much in the past 2 years. It seems that Gu Huai has discovered that I packed my luggage and ran away. Although after I awakened, whenever Gu Huai gave me something, I always asked him to say that it was a voluntary gift. Everything is recorded and every item has notes. But after all, Gu Huai has a group legal department behind him, and I'm afraid that he will find out that I have run away with the money and try to get it back. So, every bit of money counts. What's more, there are a bunch of young, handsome, pure, sexy and coaxing little brothers. Gu Huai, the arrogant old man, seemed dull. Okay, I just ignored you for a week, so you just disappear, right? Brother Yin Xiao is handsome and suave. He insisted on carrying me on the sofa like a princess. Who gave you the courage not to reply to my message? Brother Qing Yuan is handsome and unrestrained, but he is passionate inside. He pulled me to show me how to squeeze a walnut with his abdominal muscles. If you're trying to get my attention this way. Bei Mi's brother is a literary youth, play. Fantasy impromptu. His fingers are very flexible. Li Ran, very good dot. So annoying. I blocked Gu Huai with my left hand. The right hand was not idle either. Brother Qing Yuan is very competitive and insisted that his abdominal muscles looking better when they were clamping a walnut than when he was playing the piano. He asked me to touch him to see if he was hard. I woke up in a luxurious suite. Mihu pressed the wake-up button on the bedside, and a group of servants swarmed in. From toiletries to changing clothes, everything is available. There is an illusion of traveling back in time to a wealthy family's home in ancient times. TSK, you ran away from home to play these things, does Gu Huai know? The man leaning against the door joked. The man had a pair of peach blossom eyes and thin lips under his high nose bridge. If you judge a person by his face, you will say that he has a face that is both amorous and fickle. But he, Hui Yenshin, is the affectionate second male lead in this book. According to the plot, after Liu Baiyue returned to China, her ambiguous behavior with Gu Huai made me so angry that I left sadly. Then I came to G City. When I was looking for a new house and a new job, Liu Baiyue's secret manipulation made me run into obstacles again and again. I met the second male lead when I was in the most embarrassing situation. Hui Yenshin, the richest young man in G City, is also a famous playboy in G City. But this playboy was attracted by my tenacity. At first he lent a helping hand, then he slowly became emotionally invested in me, and in the end he remained deeply involved even though he knew I already had someone in my heart. At a crucial point in the plot, he even gave up a lucrative business of his own company in City A for me, in order to make my relationship with Gu Huai come true. After awakening, I will not let the plot develop like this. I approached Hui Yenshin several months ago. At first, we were gaming friends. I catered to his interests and successfully became his regular gaming partner. In order to prevent him from falling in love with me as the plot suggested, I initially displayed a personality that was very different from that in the original text. In the original text, I am gentle and reserved, and I might blush when talking to the opposite sex. Now I am bold and heroic. I keep talking nonsense in the game and chase after handsome boys and ask them to give me a home. In the original text, I was considerate and always said I'm fine, it's okay, and I'm sorry. Now I get angry at the slightest thing, it's none of my business, it's none of your business, don't mess with your father. Of course, it is still difficult to develop offline friends with Hui Yenshin just by playing games. But he is a second-generation rich man. He even has a half-brother who is even better than him. What is the rich second generation afraid of? He is afraid of comparison and afraid that his father will not give him money. That's Hui Yenshin. Of course, he is not afraid now. In recent months, Hui's business in the southwest region, especially in City A, has been booming. This is due not only to Hui Yenshin's contribution, but also to me. When his father was happy, he waved his hand and gave him several companies to manage. However, Hui Yenshin waved his hands repeatedly, indicating that the company didn't want it and that it was enough as long as the money was in place. The servants had helped me wash up and put down the sumptuous breakfast before leaving. At this time, Hui Yenshin was sitting in the living room of the suite having breakfast tea, and he described to me with great satisfaction how good his father had been to him recently. But I was not satisfied. Are you stupid? I snatched the spoon away from him. The reason why I stayed close to the second male lead after awakening was not because I felt guilty and wanted to atone for my sins, and it was even less likely that I chose the second male lead to get revenge. The business news I told Hui Yenshin before was not for the purpose of making him please his father and giving him more pocket money. Rather, the second male lead is the best option I can have for cooperation in this world. At present, the money I have received from Gu's company is nearly 100 million. But this number is not enough in the eyes of chaebols like the Gu and Hu families. Although I have this money, there is no guarantee that Gu Huai or his mother will go back on their word. If they want to take it back, I may not be able to protect the money given their power. I want to find the Hu family to be my backer. I also want to rely on the Hu family's power for development. Even if I knew the development of the original plot after awakening, relying solely on myself, without any business resources and starting from scratch, my assets worth hundreds of millions would be destroyed by capital in a matter of minutes. I patiently persuaded Hui Yan. Think about it, if you only want money, then once the money is used up, it's gone, right? When the time comes, you'll have to depend on your dad's mood to get the money. What's more, your brother is really old and cunning. Just because you don't fight for it doesn't mean he won't fight for it. In another 2 years, if your dad wants to retire completely and hand over the company to your brother? Then what are you going to do? Are you going to just throw your hands up and ask your brother for money every day? Hu Yenshin listened carefully and his expression changed several times. What should I do then? Listen to my dad and take over a few companies? But running a company is so hard. I just want to be a rich second generation who eats, drinks and has fun. Hu Yenshin looked in pain. Slurp. No wonder I looked down on you in the original text. No ambition, just love. Once your parents pass away, you will become the target of everyone in the big family. Although Gu Huai is blind, he is in power in the Gu family and is at least a real domineering boss. But I don't like both. I still like Yin Zhao's waist, Qing Yuan's abdominal muscles, and Bei Mi's hands. As I thought about it, my mind became distracted. TSK, let's deal with this little brother first. I told Hui Yenshin that it was okay and I would help him. In the previous few months of communication, I provided Hui Yenshin with not only business information, but also practical implementation strategies. As a result, he naturally saw it. I told him to take over the family companies without worry, and I would be his secretary, ensuring that he wouldn't have to worry. Money makes money, so he won't be controlled by his father and brother in his eating, drinking, and entertainment in the future. As for the condition, of course, you have to give me a share of the profits. Hui Yenshin had no doubts at all and happily accepted my suggestion. Okay, Li Ran, you are worthy of being someone who came from Gu Huai's side. You are smart. I rolled my eyes. By the way, where do you want to go today? This really makes me excited. You're not the landlord? Shouldn't you be the landlord? You ask me, but I don't understand. Okay. I'll take you to a new place today. By the way, there were a few brothers last night, it was pretty good. Hey! I'm going to show you something better today. I seem to understand why Hui Yenshin is so unmotivated. The club we went to was guarded by a 185 centimeters tall and handsome guard. The environment was also different from what I had imagined. It was as if I had traveled through time to a retro and luxurious palace from the Middle Ages, with a high-end fragrance filling the air. The elegant melody sounded in the palace. It's a live performance by real people. However, what surprised me even more was that I met familiar faces here. Do you know him? Hui Yenshin saw my expression and asked me. I nodded and shook my head. Holy shit! Isn't this the handsome young actor from a hit drama last year? During that time, I even briefly became his fan because of his looks. He comes here to play too? I was surprised. You can't judge a person by his appearance. I always thought he was a naive and innocent little brother. No, they all come here to work. Hui Yenshin said concisely. Ah. If you think he's nice, let him accompany you later. Hui Yenshin looked as if he felt sorry for me because I had never seen the world. But I suggest you take a look first. There are better ones. While talking, the young hunk even winked at me. I was just short of saying that my sister chose me. I rely on it. Evil capital, degenerate capital, extravagant capital. Woo woo woo, I swear to become the capital. Li Ran, have you made your choice? No, wait a minute, I'll just pick one. One is not enough. I play 1v5 in games, and you want me to play 1v1 in the club? Hui Yenshin. No wonder they say one can't get rich overnight. I was sinking into a life of decadence and debauchery, and in just a week I felt my body was drained. Of course, I didn't forget to follow up on Hui Yenshin's side. He did not disappoint me. Hui Yenshin acted coquettishly and then became serious with his father and took over the two companies easily. His father asked him to practice. The evil capitalist and the capitalist's stupid son. I have been happy and contented for so many days that I almost forgot about Gu Huai. Until Gu Huai called me again. Li Ran, it's been so long, do you know you were wrong? Ah, what bad luck. I forgot to block his number. I was so angry that I pinched the abdominal muscles of the secretary next to me. I know I was wrong. I was wrong. I was so wrong. If I had known that I could live such a romantic and free life by leaving him, I should have left earlier. But I've actually been very busy lately. After Hui Yenshin took over the company, he pretended to be a good boss in front of his father for 2 days, but then he just let it go. I am so busy with company matters all day that I don't even have time to play. But fortunately, I gained a lot while being busy. Hui Yan loves to play, and his father knows his character, so the company that was handed over to him was not considered the main business of the Hui family. In fact, it doesn't matter even if these two companies are ruined by Hui Yenshin. However, the company, which was operating normally, began to prosper after Hui Yenshin took over. Mr. Hui certainly knew Hui Yenshin's level. He also knew about me behind Hui Yenshin. I still remember that Mr. Hui called me to the Hui headquarters last week. Along the way, I was still feeling anxious. I don't know what he will think of me taking over the company from Hui Yenshin. But I really didn't expect that he would regard me as Hui Yenshin's sweetheart. Even though I explained it wasn't. But he looked as if he had seen through everything and was deeply relieved. He told me that Hui Yenshin had been playing around with the world ever since his mother passed away. Never been to the company for a single day, just eating, drinking and having fun outside. He cursed and said all the nice things he could, but it was all in vain. It wasn't until a few months ago that I got in touch with Hui Yenshin. He saw the changes in Hui Yenshin. Even though Hui Yenshin was still lazy and seldom went to the company, at least he was paying a little more attention to running the company. This is a good sign. When Mr. Hui said that he had investigated me and found out that I was Gu Huai's girlfriend, my heart skipped a beat. Damn, Gu Huai's dark history. But he turned around and said that it didn't matter. As long as I guide Hui Yenshin in the right direction, I will know what to do and what not to do. Then he turned a blind eye. It means that I can be granted some benefits. Having said that, I roughly guessed that Mr. Hui knew that I was secretly running a company outside. That's right, with the huge sum of money I got from Gu Huai, I certainly can't just work honestly for Hui Yenshin. Although I am the one who actually controls Hui Yenshin's company, working in the company, even if I can manipulate the situation behind the scenes to gain benefits for myself, is always a nerve-wracking and unsustainable business. What can be obtained is always limited. So, I used the existing assets I had to start a small company. As for the business, of course, it is to provide supporting products and services around Hui Yenshin's company's products. Of course, the price. Compared with other companies, I saved on PR fees, saved a lot of costs, and was able to offer even lower quotations. Under the same configuration, there is no reason for Hui not to choose me. After all, I plan to tie my interests together with Hui Yenshin, so I have mentioned this to him. The kid was also very unruly at that time. He just waved his hand and let me do what I wanted as long as I did what I promised him. According to him, making money is not a big deal for anyone, but it is better if the money can be earned by one's brothers. Since Master Hui has said so, of course I will just do it. Well, that's right, now in Hui Yenshin's place, I am his brother. So I don't understand why Mr. Hui is so accurate in everything but insists that I am Hui Yenshin's girlfriend. What kind of good boyfriend would go out and have fun every day, leaving his girlfriend alone in the office to suffer and manage the company? But no matter what Mr. Hui thinks, as long as the current environment is favorable to me, everything is fine. I listened to what Mr. Hui said. From then on, Hui Yenshin began to be involved. At least for now, only with Hui Yenshin can I have a bright future. Then, Hui Yenshin went to the bar, and the bar encountered a fire inspection. Hui Yenshin went to a nightclub, where he encountered the police investigating prostitution, gambling, and drugs. The most outrageous thing was that Hui Yenshin went to a yacht for a party and the yacht lost power. Hui Yenshin. I've never encountered so many outrageous situations in my 20+ years of life. Hui Yenshin sat in the sports car, grabbing his hair in frustration. I pursed my lips and looked at him with a serious expression. Brother, there is something I have to say. Hui Yenshin looked at me puzzledly. How can there be so many coincidences in this world? Besides, let's just say these departments are out for inspection. Think about it, when has this situation ever happened to you, Master Hui, in your place? Even if I don't give you face, I have to give your father face. When did they ever ask you to cooperate? That's all thanks to the relevant departments for cooperating with you. Hearing this, Hui Yenshin also restrained his expression and began to think seriously. As for the yacht, think about it, it's your own personal yacht. Logically, it should be carefully maintained by someone every day. What the hell? How could such an outrageous thing as a power outage happen? After I said this, Hui Yenshin immediately became alert. Is someone trying to assassinate me? Never mind. Being stupid has its advantages. At least it's not easy to fool. I told Hu Yenshin that he had never cared about the development of the Hu group and he didn't know. In fact, the Hu family is now on the decline. The two companies we are currently operating are, after all, subsidiaries of the Hu family, so there is bound to be business dealings between them. So, I am very clear. It was because the Hu family was on the decline that these people began to no longer take him, young Master Hu, seriously. They all began to neglect his yacht. What next? Hu Yenshin was the kind of person who could be kicked and peed on by dogs just by walking down the street. Not to mention. Haven't you noticed that your dad has a lot of white hair recently? Hu Yenshin thought about it and nodded hesitantly. He's worried. He's tired. Oh, I'm so old now, my son is not doing well, and my company may even go bankrupt. If I were you, I would be so worried that I can't sleep. A rare trace of guilt appeared on Hu Yenshin's face. He pursed his lips. Then he asked me, "Hey, my dad has white hair, how did you know?" I opened my eyes and made up a story. I saw it on TV. Just kidding, even though Hu Yenshin calls his dad old man every day, he doesn't look old at all. After all, as the helmsman of the Hu group, he has a whole team behind him to take care of his health. So even though he is in his 60s, he still has a head full of gray hair. In order to transform Hu Yenshin, Mr. Hu specially cooperated with me to dye his hair gray. It was rare that Hu Yenshin did not go out to fool around on the day he discovered that his father had white hair. Instead, he returned to the Hu family's old house and had a meal with the old man. I don't know what he talked about with the old man, but it definitely gave him enough emotional value. Because that night, Mr. Hu's secretary informed me to pack up and accompany Hu Yenshin to work at the Hu group headquarters. Besides, I have my own small company, so I won't be distracted too much and won't be able to take care of Mr. Hu. So Mr. Hu decided to inject capital, which means that in the future, the cooperation between Hu and its subsidiaries and our company will be openly supported. Hu's capital injection undoubtedly sends a signal to the industry. This small company has the Hu family backing it up. Hee, another level higher. My company is thriving, so I asked Mr. Hu to help me find 2 professional managers. It can be said that there is no need to worry about it. Hu Yenshin learned better and better despite the anxiety of his family going bankrupt, which made Mr. Hu very pleased. The assets that are rising rapidly in my card are my engine. Every day is full of energy. A busy person like me has completely forgotten about Gu Huai's matter. After I blocked his phone number, he did stay quiet for a while. But later, he came back to life and harassed me in various ways using other numbers. After all, I am a small boss and a senior executive of a group, so I receive a lot of work calls. Although the number is whitelist and unfamiliar calls cannot come in, my other phone is also strictly controlled by my ABS male secretary. But I couldn't stand Gu Huai. He used the phone numbers of Mr. Zhang, Mr. Li, and Mr. Su in the industry to call me. After the fight, he didn't say anything. I kept answering for a long time, but in the end I could only hear Mr. Zhang, Mr. Li and Mr. Su apologizing to me in an embarrassed manner. "I'm sorry, Mr. Li, Mr. Gu just lent me his phone, and I think I dialed the wrong number. Damn, it's really divine gold. But I don't want to completely break up with Gu Huai yet. After all, when it comes to business, the Gu Group has a great influence in the entire Southwest region. If I want to expand my business to the Southwest, I can't bypass him. Although I can do without him, if he feels a little guilty towards me, I can get more done with less effort. So just let him go crazy." Even later when I saw him liking my Weibo post, I didn't block him. Sometimes when I'm bored, I even hug my puppy and post some sad stories on Weibo. Gu Huai came and sent me a private message. I haven't read them all. The main point is to play with emotions, let him imagine, make him feel guilty, and let him guess. However, I think Gu Huai is already amazing. Unexpectedly, Liu Baiyue became even crazier. She posted a suggestive photo on Weibo. In the photo, she is wearing a suspender silk nightgown, with her breasts slightly exposed, and taking a selfie in the mirror. But the highlight was on the bed behind her. Gu Huai was leaning on the bed with his eyes closed and taking a nap. The caption is, "It is your white moonlight, and also your cinnabar mole." I took a screenshot and then quickly exited. If it's a second slower, I'd want to wash my eyes and wonder how such idiots can exist in the world. But I can probably guess her purpose for doing this. After all, according to the original plot, after Liu Baiyue returned to China and used the green tea trick to get Gu Huai to drive me away, she still wouldn't stop. She posts Weibo posts that only I can see all day long, and the content is always the same, all about her daily life with Gu Huai. He posts every morning, noon and evening, and is more dedicated than the check-in bloggers. As for why I knew that what she posted was visible only to me, it was because after Gu Huai and I reconciled, I found out about it once when I used his phone to check Weibo. However, no matter how outrageous the original book was, she never published such content. I think it might be because of the original text that Gu Huai's attitude towards me changed, which also had an impact on her. Thinking about my own useless brain that was controlled by the world of the original book, I felt very emotionally drained when I saw these. Now I am in big trouble. I posted a Weibo with the screenshot and tagged Gu Huai. Mr. Gu, sincere advice, for the sake of Gu's stock price, keep your woman under control. I didn't expect that a casual post like that would cause such a stir online. I'm busy in a meeting. My assistant told me that the topic hashtag has become popular on the internet. He reminded me to log on to Weibo. Oh my god, why did my Weibo explode? Let me take a closer look. Oh, it turns out that Liu Baiyue came out to save his reputation. She posted something sarcastic on Weibo, probably saying that I was jealous of her. What's even funnier is that netizens are divided into two camps. On one side, wow. Sister is so beautiful, what a perfect match. Some old women are just jealous and that's why they tag others randomly. On one side, to be honest, this sister is right to remind you. Whether Mr. Gu is a playboy or not is another matter after these photos were leaked, but at least it shows that he can't even manage the people around him. If I were an investor, I would find it difficult to put money in his company. I stared at the screen. What? Old woman? Xiao Xian, am I old? I asked the assistant. Sister? Are you kidding me? The famous director that Mr. Hu brought to the dinner last time also invited you to play the role of a top student in his movie. Have you forgotten? I touched my face and it was the same. The 7-figure annual beauty and fitness expenses are not wasted. Could it be that your Weibo account verification led to such speculation among netizens? Xiao Xian guessed why I asked this question, and he opened my homepage introduction. Assistant to the president of Hu Group Company, Ltd. I suddenly remembered that some time ago the public relations department suggested that the company's brand marketing route could learn from the Mi family. In the past 2 years, senior executives of Mi have opened social media accounts to do business, which has brought more exposure and influence to the brand. I strongly supported this proposal at the time. So the public relations department used my account for certification. It's just a certification. Not even a photo was uploaded. But when I got busy, I forgot about it. Be good. Just because of a title, people assume that you are an old woman? I am a few years younger than Liu Baiyue, okay? Besides, the more experience a sister has, the more popular she will be. However, if we use this popularity well, it will also be a good opportunity to shape our personal image and play the first card of Hu's executive marketing. I immediately convened a meeting with the marketing and public relations departments. We worked out a response plan overnight. The public relations department invited a big-name celebrity photographer to take new photos of me overnight, and I think I look stunning. According to the plan, I only posted one sentence on my personal account. The past cannot be retrieved, but the future can still be expected. There is a deep meaning hidden in it. I used to be Gu Huai's girlfriend. I think if someone digs deeper, this information will be exposed sooner or later. Rather than being exposed by others, it is better to take the initiative. So I just posted this text on Weibo, and the marketing accounts contacted by the company took the opportunity to expose my identity as Gu Huai's ex-girlfriend. Moreover, it was hinted that Liu Baiyue was suspected to be a mistress. As for the group account, it released photos of my recent conference projects and even forwarded some related news. Aims to highlight my positive business image of being responsible and professional. If public opinion was polarized before, now, the voices on the internet are one-sided. What jealousy! Those who said that their sister was jealous of Lu Lucha, please stand up and take the beating. Ah. I won't allow anyone to see my sister Li's image photo, this one of intelligence and beauty. I love it so much. Ms. Hua, you are so confused. You are only giving away my sister now. My sister is your company's business card. I advise you, those of you who love beauty, to take another look at Li Ran's resume. You will love him even more. No, so why would such an excellent sister become an ex-girlfriend? Is that a mistress? Ah. Men are just bad people. Shit outside tastes better than food at home. Wang Yume, don't just focus on making noises in the Hu's comments section, you should also pay attention to the Gu's. Humph. Gu is a scumbag. Sisters, I want to see Gu go bankrupt tomorrow morning. I don't know where Gu Huai is hiding now, regretting the comparison between Liu and my excellent sister Li. I don't know whether Gu Huaiho regrets it or not, but there has been no movement on Gu's official account so far, so I'm still curious. After all, I have also made a plan for a possible marketing war with Gu's. The plan was not used. But the next day, I met Gu Huai at a business dinner. It was a private dinner hosted by a local tycoon in G City. I was quite surprised to see Gu Huai here. Hui Yanchen and I were present together. When he saw Gu Huai, he raised his eyebrows and said jokingly, "Today, Gu's stalks are as green grasslands. How could he still have the energy to come to you?" I frowned. I don't know either. But if you say that he came purely to attend the dinner, City A is thousands of miles away from City G, and the business nature of this dinner has little to do with Gu's. But Gu Huai didn't leave us confused for long. Because he really came at me. She immediately explained to me that the picture Liu Baiyue sent was taken when he was drunk. There was nothing between him and Liu Baiyue, and they were certainly not a couple as claimed on the internet. Ah. You have a relationship with Liu Baiyue and it has nothing to do with me. Li Ran, come back, I know you are angry with me and Liu Baiyue. I admit that I was out of control before. I don't even know how many tricks Liu Baiyue has done behind your back to irritate you. But I have already fired Liu Baiyue from Gu's, don't worry. Also, if you still want to continue working, it's the same at Gu's. I can even give you the position of vice president of Gu's. Ahem. I was drinking water and I choked. No? Am I, Li Ran, some cheap garbage recycling station? Besides, is being the vice president of Gu Corporation a big deal? The Gu family in the original book is indeed good. But that was based on Gu Huai's aura as the male protagonist and the resources that I, the confused female protagonist, absorbed from the second male lead. As for now, today's Gu's stock turning green is just the beginning. I don't think a boss who can't even handle his personal life and doesn't know how to judge people can lead the company to better and better. If I remember correctly, in the original book, Gu Huai came to find me after I returned to City A. After leaving him, I finally managed to gain a foothold in G City. I looked for a job in G City by myself, found a house and moved by myself, and went to the hospital when I was sick by myself. Liu Baiyue was taken to various high-end places by Gu Huai day after day, and he gave her expensive gifts and accompanied her on travels. It seemed as if Gu Huai was trying to gather all his strength to make up for the years they had been apart. It was also as if I was trying to cover up the traces I had left around him over the years by being doubly nice to Liu Baiyue. Gu Huai only contacted me after I returned to City A. At that time, I already knew Hui Yanchen well and we had a good relationship. The Hu family's business expanded to City A. He said he was not familiar with the place and invited me to travel with him. When I met Gu Huai again, I got rid of all my awkwardness and embarrassment and turned into calm and decent. But when we met him again, we got entangled again, and Liu Baiyue got in the way. He still seemed unable to tell that Liu Baiyue was a green tea lover. In the name of loving me, he always stood behind Liu Baiyue. In the original book, I was like being under a spell, constantly struggling with Gu Huai and unable to break free from this web. He even fought for Gu Huai's interests in front of Hui Yanchen. Never mind. It's to the point where I want to curse myself. The only explanation is that the masochistic, love-brained author invaded my brain. However, I changed after I awakened. My right to choose a spouse is finally no longer restricted by the original book, and I don't have to force myself to find one. I once again decisively rejected Gu Huai, but I said it in a nice way. I am used to leaving some room for maneuver when doing things. Leaving room for maneuver is not to make it easier to look back later, but to make it easier for yourself to do things in the future. Liu Baiyue arrived at the end of the dinner. Gu Huai answered the phone, looking quite helpless. But after I hung up, the other party kept calling me. Finally, he hung up the phone and turned it off. The dinner was over and we all headed for the door. It was at this time that I saw Liu Baiyue. She was stopped outside by the doorman. When she saw Gu Huai, her face was full of embarrassment and shyness. "Ah Huai, what's wrong with you? You didn't answer the phone." They stopped me. After seeing me, Liu Baiyue's voice stopped abruptly. A blazing anger appeared on his face. "No wonder. She's here too. Li Ran, you are shameless. There is a man standing next to you, but you are still thinking about Ah Huai. I thought you were really capable now, but you still relied on men. That's enough. Shut up." At this time, people have come out one after another, and some of them are looking over here sideways. Gu Huai looked at Liu Baiyue and felt ashamed. He looked at me apologetically and wanted to say something. I smiled and stopped him from talking. "Mr. Gu, I still give you my sincere advice. Keep your woman under control and don't embarrass you in public." Passing by Liu Baiyue, I met her angry gaze and corrected her. "Ms. Liu, don't speculate about others based on your own situation. I have no interest in Gu Huai. Also, even if you go in tonight's banquet, it will only be the female companion that Mr. Gu brought with him. We are different. I was invited by the host to discuss cooperation. What's more, Gu Huai doesn't even want to take you with him. I suggest you not to point the finger at homosexuals. If I were you, I would either get rid of this man in front of me, or use his power to improve myself. As I was speaking, the doorman had already driven my car over. I looked at Hui Yenshin questioningly. Hui Yenshin was still immersed in the farce that had just happened, with a smile in his eyes. You go first, my car is right behind. While waiting for the traffic light, I couldn't help but think of a plot in the original book. After Gu Huai and I got back together, Liu Baiyue acted coquettishly and asked Gu Huai to take her to a banquet. It was the golden wedding anniversary of a highly respected senior in the industry. In such occasions, people usually bring their partners. The senior's daughter and I know each other. She invited me and said she would send me an invitation letter. At that time, I knew that Gu Huai had a close relationship with that senior, and I also knew that he would attend the ceremony. I said I had the invitation and there was no need to bother her any further. But in the end, I didn't wait for Gu Huai to extend his hand to invite me to go with him. Instead, he was seen in the entertainment media with Liu Baiyue in the same frame, smiling sweetly. I shouldn't give up on myself. Compared to the cowardly look I had in the original book, I still prefer the present. I like the feeling of always having the steering wheel in my hands. I should celebrate my freedom now. So, halfway on the way home, I sent a message to my assistant to book a place for me. Sister, can you find some people to drink with you? 7 or 8, choose according to my usual preferences. I think the reason I have kept Xiaoxian as my assistant is not only because he is handsome and has a good figure, but also because he is very decisive in his work. But I didn't expect that he was too decisive and didn't even question my instructions. So when I got there, I was dumbfounded. The hall was crowded with people. The marketing manager told me as if asking for a reward that the best products in the city are all here. Just when I was about to call Xiaoxian to question him, I realized that the message I sent while waiting at the traffic light was not detailed. 70 or 80, I choose according to my usual preferences. 7 or 8 and 70 or 80 look similar at first glance. I looked at the grand scene in the hall, which was like a job market. I silently calculated that if this person toasted me, I would be drunk. Forget it, just do me a favor. I started making phone calls. Mr. Yao, Mr. Xiao, Mr. Ouyang, Miss Li, Miss He, Miss Ma, all invited him. Isn't it said that men always like to drink a little and talk business? This also applies to us women. All the top male models in G City gathered together, which made my sisters very happy. For the next month, I took turns signing contracts with various managers. However, my feat of clicking on 80 male models that night was also spread out. Unexpectedly, the first person to come to me was Mr. Hua. Although I have submitted good financial reports to Mr. Hua in the last 2 quarters, he still seems dissatisfied. Ms. Li, you should know the most important reason why I let you into Hua's. But obviously, your current actions are too extreme. What is the reason? Isn't it because I'm so good? I thought seriously, I can help Hui Yenshin get better and better. But do you know why my son listens to you so much? Isn't it because we colluded and staged a play to trick him into thinking his family was going to go bankrupt? Mr. Hua obviously lost the desire to continue chatting with me. He motioned to his secretary to bring the documents. If I say that I believe that after awakening, I can do everything, be invincible, and everything will go smoothly, it all depends on myself. This information is here to disprove my opinion. It turns out that everything I thought I had planned out. He met Hui Yenshin in the game, became close friends, and successfully built a small company. There are also some of his own works in it. Yenshin really likes you. He's the one who has brought you to where you are now, and I think you need to understand that. Ms. Li, everyone has their own preferred lifestyle. But obviously, I don't approve of the life you're living right now. I don't want you to hurt my son. Let's be frank. You have 2 options. The first rule is to marry Yenshin. From now on, you will be the daughter-in-law of the Hua family. If you want to continue working in the Hua Corporation, I will give you a seat on the board of directors. But the only requirement is that if you marry into the Hua family, you must abide by the rules of the Hua family. The second one is to leave Yenshin, and I will take back everything I have given you. Hui Yenshin's father is forcing me to marry him. From the original book, I knew that Mr. Hua had 2 sons. Even though his eldest son was better, he still loved his youngest son the most. Otherwise, in the original book, Hui Yenshin would not have had the power to do such a stupid thing as offering his own business to please me. But I didn't expect that Mr. Hua would force me to marry his son. I would not choose either 1 or 2. If I had to choose one, then why did I try so hard to break free from the plot? It's just a different path to the same destination. If I choose the second option, then what is the point of all the hard work I have put in? Mr. Hua has been immersed in the business world for many years, so what he meant by taking back is certainly not just what I got from Hua's. Mr. Hua, I won't choose either. What's the point of embarrassing a little girl? If you have any ideas, why not talk to your son directly? A man who has been in a high position for a long time may feel that his authority is being challenged. The moment I turned around, I heard the sound of porcelain breaking. I straightened my back and left the Hu family. Hu Yenshin found me. He and I stared at each other in silence for a long time. He admitted everything to me. It is almost the same as the information his father gave him. How ridiculous! I always thought that everything I had worked hard for was actually a gift tacitly granted by those in power. But it doesn't matter, I did achieve my goal. At least, I did reach a higher and freer position than in the original book. Hu Yenshin, you don't have to do this for me. If we say that Hu Yenshin, the second male lead in the original book, is just affectionate. Judging from this experience, Hu Yenshin is simply a bootlicker to an outrageous degree. Just ask, who would believe that a man would watch the woman he likes being hugged by men while silently supporting her career behind her? If I say that I have experienced a lifetime in which you had to choose between me and Gu Huai, and you lost your freedom and even your life for Gu Huai. Hu Yenshin raised his eyes and looked at me. Ollie, rather than losing you completely, I would rather let you choose the way you like and live freely. Ollie. This is what Hu Yenshin called me in the original book. Obviously, he only calls me Li Ran, Mr. Li or brother. Ha ha ha, I was just kidding. Look how scared you are. Hu Yenshin laughed loudly, breaking the silent atmosphere. Ah. Brother, you scared me to death. I gave him a fake punch. News of Gu's sale of its business came half a year later. Although Gu's external rhetoric was to focus on core business, people in the industry knew what was going on. In the past 2 years, Gu's company invested heavily in developing new businesses, but the core technology it needed was bought by Hu's company who suddenly appeared. Coupled with the sluggish growth of its main business, Gu's operations have indeed become increasingly difficult. In fact, a lean camel is bigger than a horse. According to the accumulation of the Gu family over the years, Gu Huai would not reach the point of selling the business. But I can't help but have information gap. In the original book, as the heroine who helped Gu Huai a lot with great effort, I naturally knew the weak links of the Gu family. What's more, in addition to information, there are also resources. With Hu Yenshin and I working together, it is only a matter of time before Gu's goes bankrupt. Hu Yenshin and I had a drink at Lin He Bar to celebrate with each other. I have left Hu's. In order to prevent Mr. Hu from causing me trouble, he agreed to his father's condition that he would be the president of the group. Sometimes I wonder if Mr. Hu's deliberate harassment of me that day was just to force his son to take over the company. But no matter what, I am really happy working with Hu Yenshin now. When I left Hu's, the department I was in charge of achieved profit growth for 3 consecutive quarters, which was considered a good performance. Then I devoted myself to my own company. The company has been developing along with the Hu family since the beginning and has achieved good results. Of course, after I took over the business, I also started to expand into other areas. After all, relying completely on others means putting yourself in danger. The business that Gu sold off was purchased by my company. That's what I feel bad about. That business was the one in the original book where Gu's and was overlapped, and which Hu Yenshin gave up for me. Now I buy it again and give it back to him. Gu's is in such a difficult situation right now, so when you say you're buying it, Gu Huai is practically giving that business to you. I don't know if he would be mad if he knew you were going to give it to me. Hu Yenshin joked. I have no comment. Now it seems that not having a falling out with me did make things a lot easier for me. The next time I met Lu Baiyue was at an industry exhibition in City A. She is talking to a client. When the customer agreed to place the order, she could hardly contain her scream of joy. If we say that Lu Baiyue before was weak and gentle, now she is strong and powerful. Her clothes are not as exquisite as before, but they reveal a fresh vitality. When we left the exhibition hall, it was raining heavily outside. After the assistant dropped me off, he went to another direction in City A to do some business. Now it will take a long time for him to come over. The taxi hailing app on the phone showed that there was a queue ahead and it would take about an hour. Lu Baiyue appeared at this time. I thought I had recognized the wrong person at the exhibition hall, but I didn't expect it to be you. It's hard to get a taxi at this time and in this weather. If you don't mind, I can give you a ride. I looked at Lu Baiyue, but she suddenly raised her head and avoided my sight. Of course, if you like to wait an hour or two in this awful weather, forget what I said. Lake Island Villa. What? My address. Lu Baiyue and I didn't talk along the way. I think Lu Baiyue still hates me very much. Just like I still hate her. When we were almost at my destination, she was still acting weird. I can wear such high heels and run outside every day without worrying about spraining my ankle. I usually have a driver to pick me up when I go out, so I can't really walk a few steps. Of course, today is an exception. I retorted. Li Ran, you sound really annoying. A shrill whistle sounded through the dark sky on a rainy night. The large truck on the opposite side seemed to have lost control and crashed into the right lane. But this woman who said she hated me held the steering wheel firmly and used her position to fight against the truck. There was a violent collision, and the sky and the earth were spinning. I don't know how long it took, maybe an hour, maybe a second. Li Ran, get out. A weak voice came from the driver. From my perspective, Lu Baiyue looked bloody. Shut up. I fumbled and tried to unbuckle my seatbelt first, but the sideways position of the car caused my seatbelt to get stuck. I tried to solve Lu Baiyue's problem again. Li Ran, leave me alone. The liquid flowing down my head blurred my vision and the world turned into a blurry red. Lu Baiyue, shut up. Li Ran, I have always hated you. If I had to do it all over again, I would probably still be jealous of you and do bad things to you. But, I really like the way you sparkle. I hate you, but thank you, Li Ran. You made me want to try a different path in life. It feels so good to be in full control of my life. Lu Baiyue, we might die here. Yeah, wow. I'm sorry, Li Ran, I shouldn't have given you a ride. Woo woo, I never thought that the only time I extended a helping hand to you out of kindness might end up killing you. I'll be nice to you in my next life and repay you. Fool. While Lu Baiyue was trying to speak, she was struggling to unbuckle my seatbelt. As if all the energy of life was used up. But it was too late. The big vehicle that collided with us was a tanker truck. I heard a gurgling sound, probably oil flowing all over the floor. In the end, the dazzling light swallowed up Lu Baiyue and me together. The world returns to tranquility. I woke up from my dream. The world seemed to have lost its voice. A novel about a womanizing heroine who was chased to the crematorium by her wife was prominently placed on the bedside. I opened the novel. The original book has not been rewritten. It turns out that it was just a dream? How can the heroine of a sad novel be so happy? Or is it that he is trapped by love, suffers for half his life, and dies in depression? It turned out to be a dream. Yes, if it were in reality, how could the vested interests easily give up their power? If a man holds a high position and has fame and wealth, how could he possibly love one person unrequitedly? It is even more impossible to feel regret and heartbreak after losing a woman. If a man can choose to be a bird in a cage, how can he be willing to become a stepping stone for a woman? To help her reach the top of the mountain. Both the original book and my dreams glorify men. He also underestimates the heroine. I walked into the bathroom barefoot and lit the novel with a lighter. Watch it light up, then become a raging fire, and then turn into ashes. I burned this world, turned it into ashes, and flushed it down the toilet. The anger in my chest has not yet subsided. I think novels shouldn't be written like this. I turned on the computer and typed slowly. It also started a new journey of life for my Li Ran. My Li Ran, she is excellent, tough and strong. She attracted equally outstanding opposite sex and had several relationships. But the ups and downs in her love life are just some spice in her interesting life. There are many men like Gu Huai or Hui Yenshin in the world. But the truth is, these men only care about Gu Huai and Hui Yenshin. A man who holds power will not give up an ounce of it for the sake of love. Li Ran knows the rules of this world clearly, so she will never fall into a man's gentle trap. Everything in the world is for her use. Although climbing up is very hard, even more difficult than the novel and my dreams. But she never gave up. She always loves herself the most and takes herself as the center. She used all the resources around her to move up. She walked from the foot of the mountain to the top, cutting through thorns and bushes along the way. The scars on her body grew into armor, which were medals of growth. Some people sneered at her and called her a tomboy, saying that she was unscrupulous and ambitious. She took it all as compliments. The female eagle soaring high in the sky cannot hear the gossip on the ground. In her vision, there is a wider land and higher mountain peaks.